Welcome to the Bay Islands Whangaroa Community Board meeting for Thursday the 18th of July. I will ask the Hindle to open us with a karakia.
Me ino e tātou. Whakataka hau ki uru, whakataka hau ki tonga, kia mākina ki uta, kia mākaratara ki tai. E hiaki te atakura, e huka, e hi, te teo, e hauhanga, haumie, huie, tai.
We commence today. We have a mixture of staff and elected members in the room, so just for the benefit of those of you that have come here to speak to us, present to us today for your funding applications and public forum session, we'll just go around and introduce ourselves, starting with you, Catherine.
Morning, everyone. My name's Catherine. I'm the funding advisor to Whangaroa District Council, so we lovely people have all been messaging me backwards and forwards for this meeting.
Tēnā koutou, Babe Kapa, I'm elected Paikauni Hira of the Māori Walk. Tēnā koutou, Wari Hapati Piruna for the Bay Islands Whangaroa Community Board, member of Whangaroa Kawakoa Subdivision.
Yes, good morning. I'm Bruce Mills, and I represent the Whangaroa subdivision.
Kia ora, Tyler Bamber. I represent the Waipapa subdivision.
Ora Belinda Ward. I'm the chair for the day and I represent Waihi Waitangi subdivision.
Now, my name's Maria and I'm one of the democracy advisors.
Kia ora, my name's Aisha Huriwai. I'm the manager of our democracy services team supporting the board today.
Morena, called Jane Hindle. I'm Jane Hindle and I'm the representative for Russell, Kororaraka and Upua and Maramaku.
Morena, Kim Hammond, and I'm the community board coordinator for the Bay of Islands Whakaroa Community Board.
Morena, I'm Dad, and I am a democracy advisor.
Morena, I'm Trinity, and I work with TA for finance and customer services.
Morning, Tato. Pinky Van Island, Women's Community Relations.
Morena.
I'm refugee. I've got many hats on place now. What we're going to do. I'm here to run the Russell for rugby game. It's going to happen. I'm playing it, so. Yeah.
Morning, I'm Sam Stewart.
Thank you, everybody. We will move on to item number 2, which is apologies. I have apologies to Councillor and Court and members Amy Slack and Lane Eyre. I will move. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Bruce. All those in support? So that moves us into our speakers for the day for funding applications. And first up, we have Sam representing Coast to Coast Cat Rescue in relation to funding applications for the purchase and relocation of a porta cabin. Welcome, Sam. Come forward. This is on page 34 of your agenda.
Good morning. Coast to Coast Cat Rescue was born due to the sheer numbers of unwanted stray and feral cats in the farm. Our objective was twofold: to minimise the impact an uncontrolled cat population has on the environment, both urban and rural, by encouraging and educating on the need for responsible companion animal guardianship, including desexing, vaccination and microchipping, and to provide shelter care and rehoming for unwanted or stray cats and kittens. Cat control is such an important issue for public health reasons, for protecting our precious wildlife and for reducing the suffering of huge numbers of unwanted cats and kittens living both as companions in low decile areas as well as stray and feral in both urban and rural areas. It may shock you to know that in 3 years, just one unneutered female can have 376 offspring. There are 4 categories of cats: companion, abandoned, lost, stray, and feral. It's important to note that a cat can move across all 4 of these categories in its lifetime. Our team of volunteers work tirelessly year-round tracking stray and feral cats, bringing into care dumped kittens and cats from across the region, and providing desexing for cats in the community. We actively comment on Facebook posts giving away free kittens, bringing them into care and getting Mama Cat and any other cats they have desexed. Since we started Coast to Coast on December the 1st, 2022, we've had 934 cats and kittens come into care and we've looked at 767. No cat or kitten leaves our care undesexed. We've been collaborating with the SPCA for the last year on a desexing program that has seen 836 cats and 828 dogs in the community desexed and vaccinated. That is a total of 1,664 animals not reproducing and adding to the number of unwanted kittens and puppies. The program has just been extended for another year, which is fantastic news for the animals of the far north. Currently, the majority of our kittens are housed in foster homes, which allow for much needed socialisation. Adult cats require secure containment, which is not always achievable in foster homes. At present, most are housed in aviaries, which although dry and out of the elements are not quite fit for purpose and hard to sanitise and keep clean. They can also be cold in the winter months. We recently applied for a grant from Club Charities for 2 cabins, which would be connected with separate enclosed catios. Unfortunately, we were only awarded $10,000, which does not cover the funds required for the project. We are therefore seeking help to complete a slightly smaller project so we can continue the work we're doing, reducing stray cat numbers across the whole of the farm.
Thank you, Sam. There's lots of time for questions. Thank you. Just point out to members on page 39 those dates are not 1923. I'm sure you've figured out that 2023. That's the last one. Cats have been around a while though. So, questions? No, well, I can kick it off actually, because I have a few questions. Is the cabin that you're looking to purchase and relocate, is it being run as a cat rescue or a cattery?
It's a cat rescue.
It's a cat rescue. Yeah. And does any money exchange hands for the cats or kittens?
The cats and kittens we adopt, we have adoption fees for. Our kittens adoption fee is $150. Our adult cats, we tend to lower the price because they're less appealable, so they sort of go anywhere between $50 and $80. The funds that we get for our adoption fee nowhere near cover the cost that we've spent for desexing, vaccinating, microchipping, the cost of the food and the litter. Basically, we're very hand to mouth. That's our regular source of income by adopting. We also attend the pack house market where we get donations, and we have a few regular donations that donate straight into our bank account. But yeah.
So do you take money at the property where the cabin will be?
A lot of it just gets transferred into our bank account. When someone comes to us to adopt, we go through a whole adoption process with them. They fill out an adoption form and they transfer the money into our account.
Thank you. And I'll just continue with the questions that I have. And in relation to the cabin, the location of the cabin, Kawakoa, do you have to meet any consent conditions under the district plan?
The cabin is small enough that it doesn't require any consents.
So under the district plan rules,
yeah,
you've inquired and you don't, for a cat rescue operation, you don't require any.
No, not at the moment. I think they're looking into this whole bylaw thing, and because that's lapsed at the moment, and then I have had conversations with Kelly Stratford on this, and I think the vague conversation at the time was that if and when this bylaw gets implemented, there will be sort of special allowances for rescues and things like that. I mean, basically, this cabin is only going to house about 10 cats at any one time.
So you will just be operating it under the welfare code?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get my head around the whole operation. All my questions for the moment. The other one I had is where do you get your cats from? Like, how do you determine? Do people bring you the cats, or are you capturing the cats? So how do you determine whether they're abandoned, lost companions, feral?
Basically, we cover an absolutely enormous area. Kaikoui, for example, is absolutely covered in stray and feral cats. We get calls from people who've got colonies of cats living underneath houses. We do a lot of trapping. Predominantly the ones that we trap are more the feral ones, so they often get euthanized, which we have on for from NRC and Care I think it was the Kaikoui board. We Yeah, some are just dumped. They really come from all sorts of different places. We often get inquiries from people saying, can you help me rehome my cat because I'm moving overseas? That doesn't quite fit under our remit because we're actually trying to stop everything else. So we encourage those people to advertise themselves because, yeah, we really need to save the space for everything out there that's stray and unwanted. And
Okay. All right, I'll open up to everyone else for questions.
Madam Chair, I've got a question, a couple of questions. Sam, you currently have the kittens and cats in aviaries. Are there any issues with the neighbours if you were to make it bigger, or would this almost be the same sort of thing?
Yeah, most of our kittens are in foster homes, so they're all sort of spread out and around. I've got a big double garage which has got big cages in with some kittens. The aviaries are currently outside where I live. I've got a massive 2-acre section. I'm rural. So
there'll be no issues with that. And just on a financial note, your application included GST in the amount. So I was just working through your shortfall, but actually I think it's only 8,600. So there's GST in the total amounts, but that's just a...
Yeah, people need things like lino to go on the floor to seal it, and it requires some paint, so we've already bought the paint and done that kind of thing. Clear light for the roof, that was another thing to keep it more waterproof.
I'm just wondering what with your service, what do you provide that isn't being provided by council?
A lot. Nobody does anything with regards to cats. Really. No other group is actively trapping and retrieving ferals and tidying up stray cats and their brooding. We saw all the funding for the desexing ourselves. That's the collaboration we've got with the SPCA, so that hasn't cost the council any money either. Yeah, I mean, obviously the SPCA take in cats as well. Donna Doolittle's, they tend to take in very limited numbers. Both of those, we really are picking up the brunt. I mean, there's certain months of the year where we have over 100 cats come in, especially January, February, those kind of times. We can often get up to about 120 in every month. So it's a lot of work by a lot of volunteers, bringing them in, rehabilitating them, desexing them, and then adopting them. And we all work, and we've all got kids. And yeah.
I'd just like to thank you for the work that you do. It's amazing. Yeah.
Thanks, Dave. It appears to be all the questions. We'll make a decision a bit later in the day. Thanks for coming. Excuse me. Right, second up we have Catherine Manford. Hi. Catherine's representing the Autaka Thompson in relation to the funding for Tūrangatahi for the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Award, attending a youth development voyage. This is on page 50. Welcome.
Thank you. It's really nice to be here today. Lots of familiar faces. My first time standing in this role, I joined the Autaka Thompson as Chief Executive on the 1st of January this year. So I'm just shy of 3 weeks in the role. So this is the inaugural presentation for me, so be kind. Now I know that the community boards have supported the Autaka Thompson over the years with our youth development programme, and I'm really hopeful that we can continue that relationship. I've applied at this time for 2 placements for youth from the far north, from the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Award. And we have also worked with the other community boards for Te Huku and Kaikoui Hokianga. The request is for $2,000, which makes up the majority of the funding that's required to have 1 trainee as part of the voyage of 12. So that's 4,000 all up. The total cost of having of our voyages is just over $30,000. 7-day period for 12 rangatahi, and we seek funding from various sources to support that. So we come to grant schemes, funding opportunities like this, Foundation North lotteries and so on. But we also have the commercial revenue that we generate during the summer. The surplus from that
then makes up the proportion. So you see there's 2,000 requested for the trainee, and then there's that extra proportion which will come partly from the commercial revenue, and then we also seek contributions from the whānau, because it's really important that they're committed to the process. I'll tell you, I suspect many of you are familiar with the tucker, but I will just quickly talk to you a little bit about the experience. So the significance of this 7-day tourship experience is that we're drawing trainees aged between 14 and 18 from throughout Northland and bringing them together. They don't know each other. This has been the first time that they're spend for many, it's their first time away from home as well. And we bring them together into what effectively is a sort of a microcosm of the big scary world out there. We bring them into a new environment where they have the opportunity to develop new bonds, are faced with a bunch of challenges, but in a very safe environment. And it gives them an opportunity to step outside their lives, step outside their existing networks, and go and start to generate new relationships, new networks, and challenge themselves in ways that maybe they haven't done before. And they are in all manner of things, from the classic tucker challenge, climbing the mast and getting out to the end of the yardarm, touching the end, through to the snorkeling, through to hiking, through to helping in the galley, being active, working in the kitchen, doing the cleaning, all elements of ship life. They also work towards leading the ship, taking the helm on the 6th day, and they have experience in each watch on each station, and learn to work as a team within a small group of 4, and they cycle as the days go by through the different stations, and along the way having educational components from navigation to understanding the weather, and to even talking about finances. They even have part of their program is around how they're funded to be here. So in terms of the community, we're generating, it's contributing to a bigger community network. Tucker's been around for a very long time. Thank you, Jane. and it's being part of something that is bigger, that they hold on to, that they carry with them. And I know this from our new youth manager, who went and did the schools roadshow a couple of months ago, and she came back saying, these students would run up to me and they would hold their trouser leg up or put their wrist out. They've got the tucker bracelets still on, and they say, I was a tucker trainee, 2 years ago. And so it's something that's very special, that stays with those students and helps them hopefully go on and has a lasting impact on their lives.
It's Catherine, I'm sure. And we're all familiar with the tucker, but there may be a few questions. They're off the list.
So how do you select the kids that get to be these two? We have quite a few different ways of tapping into networks. We have relationship with all the schools, and so we receive applications through the schools. You can also apply online, so anybody can go hop straight online and they can apply themselves, so they can walk themselves through the process. We also have connections with Work Ready, some of the alternative education networks, and you caught me out on all my networks. There are probably some more in there. Maybe also, what sort of criteria do you guys have as the tucker as to how you choose from these applications?
Well, they nobody's turned away. So we consider everything that comes in the door. Right. Obviously, we can only got capacity to take on who we can at any one time, and so it's a case of our youth manager will work through the applications, check they've completed all their forms, that we've got the medical. If there are anything, we always have an interview process with the parents and with the rangatahi. There's a code of conduct that they agree to, along with the parents, all the caregivers agreeing, and so there's a step-through process to make sure that when they step on the ship,
they are ready to go, and we're confident that we are able to support them in whatever way they need to be supported. So, for example, we had a girl who was blind, and we arranged for her support person to come with her. And so there's a little bit of work that needs to happen, but essentially it's an inclusive as we can be.
Yeah. At the risk of being, one thing we could think of as a community board is choosing our criteria that we would like to see, should we decide to fund them. And so we might want to select somebody that has demonstrated community values in their school, and that might be the criteria that we would like to see. I'll be abstaining from this particular vote for perception of conflict.
We can, it's a good point though, Jo, we can
decide what criteria we
we'll be reviewing our usually grant policy later today, starting a review on that. So something perhaps, a category or an area that we can consider, how we fund to better inform ourselves and make better decision making in our grant funding. So
we're absolutely welcome your
we are looking at ways of rewarding community. We could use that as a criteria.
That's great. I guess one other question is, and very tough to do, but do you sort of follow through later in life to track down,
we try.
Adults or something that have been on the tucker and find out.
Absolutely.
They find you in the street.
Are they really?
Clips.
And we're actually at the minute we're going through a process of reconnecting with some former trainees to tell their story, and I imagine that we're going to get, once we start sharing that, people get that out of the woodwork. Also, there's an active part of the process is once they step off the ship or before they've stepped off the ship, is understanding where they want to go next and making sure that we've provided where we can any pathways for them to help them to continue on, whether it's in the maritime industry and onto our qualified deck crew certificate, or whether it's in Defence Forces, smart trades, or even just hooking them up with a sailing club, which is something I did last week for one of the young lads.
I think that's a crucial question that you asked, because one of the key things that I look at is the ongoing impact such an event like this will have on our youth at that time, and how that data can be collected, so that it can show a really good outcome. But in particularly, when I think of the number of social issues that youth will come with, and how that's made a change in that area.
I agree. I'm keen. That's definitely something. Having stepped into this role, I'm really keen to see how we, how we can show that lasting impact and make sure that we're tailoring the program to optimise that.
I believe you do have a relationship with the Mayor's Task Force for Jobs.
Yes, we do.
So they're a good resource. And I understand for a really good reputation of that for the Mayor's Task Force.
We've just delivered on the qualified debt crew certificate course. So all our graduates come through, and so we're doing reporting right now with Jane.
Yeah, that answers a little bit of questions around education to employment and training outcomes, which are found, and apparently the labour market workforce plans in the North, particularly in the Bay of Islands, the young people are strongly looking to anything to do with water and marine, so it's lovely.
Catherine, I just have one question around, and it's to do with that selection, I suppose, in a way, because you do state in your additional information that's important that whānau contributes. The issue that I have and the issue that some of previous board members over the years who have been funding students is that we have become aware that some of the students that are selected come from comfortable homes where their needs have been more than met. And this is, it's quite prohibitive if the whānau can't afford to contribute. In my view, those are the children we should be uplifting and supporting to fill these roles, not the ones that we know that already sail, that come from privileged homes or good family supportive backgrounds. So why is there so much emphasis? I realise there's obviously a dollar in a supportive role there, but how do we ensure that those from underprivileged homes or communities actually get a shot in this? That's I guess my main concern over the years has been, because we find out down the track who's been on, some of these kids, and I'm thinking, really? It's great experience, but I would love to see kids that would never get that experience.
So I'm calling back to a former chairperson of the board on this, who emphasises that it's for all children, all students, all rangatahi, and that the directive is that we shouldn't be making a judgment call always on who needs it. It may not be financial. And that I get that your question is specifically around that financial obstacle. Where we seek specific, we have some voyages where we'll have fully funded, where we know that we're funding the entire student, and we have certain scholarships where we know we're funding an entire student, and there are quite a number of different streams that support that. I'm going to be honest and say I haven't 100% got my head around how we deal with that challenge. The whānau contribution is a trust-based one. If it's $50, that's fabulous. But it's about the commitment, where maybe people who could afford more don't pay more. There's probably some narrative around that we can address going forward around what, but it's trust-based ultimately. So it's a puzzle.
It's something we can discuss later.
Yeah.
Great.
Great job, Jessica.
Thanks for turning up, and congratulations on your new role.
Thanks, Linda.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Ricky Pinhead. Ricky, you representing Rugby for Life in relation to the funding application for the cost of Russell Community Day. It's on page 58 of your agenda.
Hi, Team.
Hi.
Thank you for having me. It's been a while since I've been here, to be fair. So it's some new places. I'll give you a little bit of overview and Q&A. Rugby for Life is a charitable trust that's 5 years old. It's born out of Northern Rugby Union's attempt to help communities through sport. Northern Rugby Union itself does really well at high performance, but it realised it couldn't help grassroots and the people who did it. So Rugby for Life's whole purpose is through sport, and it doesn't have to be rugby, it can be anything. And through COVID, we supported 60 organisations from ballet to motocross. But to focus and grow those clubs, make them and help them be community hubs, and then put all our network at the fingertips of those clubs to help any issues or challenges or outcomes they want to achieve. So to give you a feel, any club works within a 50k radius, what they've got at their fingertips. What we do is put all our network, which is pretty much all New Zealand, at their fingertips to help. So Rugby for Life has roughly 20 clubs out of 46 with an individual coordinator in it. For the FNDC region, we've got Hokianga covered in the next few months. There's 6 clubs there. We've got funding for that. We're in Kaia, Te Aupori, Tauranga, Whangaroa and Okai. So we help resource clubs as well to take the burden of volunteer time away to allow them to survive. Then we funnel whatever support. So what's happened in the last few weeks is the New Zealand Parliament team have decided they want to come up to Newcastle to play a game. As usual, they're very late in what they want to do. They've chosen Rugby for Life because we have relationships and we've helped the community and they believe in our kaupapa and what we can do. So they said, can we come up and can you support it? What we've done is take it by the scruff of the neck and said, yep, we can, but we want to use it for a couple of things. One is Really, we want to create a wonderful community day that anyone can come to and have fun. So that's the first thing about sport. Get everyone in a room and it breaks down all barriers. And when a time like there's a lot of conflict out there, we're still working over from COVID. Have a fun day and watch some old, fat rugby players run around and get beaten. So it's pretty simple.
Generous structure.
So anyway, it's a little bit of fun from that, but the reality is there's not many times in the Far North's life that we get a bunch of heroes up here in one place. And part of Rugby for Life's ethos is we've got a wonderful group throughout Northland, not only sporting heroes, but we've got other heroes that we need to illuminate to give people hope. And if we can get them up here and we can get the kids to the game and parents to touch, feel these heroes, hopefully we inspire hope. So the game is about fun, a little bit of competition, obviously, it's getting ramped up. But if we can get these heroes here and bring people, more people better to touch, feel and be inspired, then they'll go back to their communities and do better. So those are the first two real outcomes. It's really as simple as that, to take the most of these heroes in the region. Tactically, what we're doing beside it is the 20 clubs that we have got under our umbrella. They're generally the poorer clubs. They're supporting communities in the poorer regions. So Kerikeri doesn't have a coordinator, doesn't need it. Whangaroa clubs like Old Boys Marist don't need one. They're okay. But in the Far North, we cover roughly 10 of them. And those regions need our help. So what we're doing for each of those regions is basically we've got a player from each one, their representative, and we build a marketing campaign around them to promote to their region. Hey, you don't have to be an All Black to have fun. You don't have to be an All Black to play with an All Black. Come and support your local hero. Come and support your club and actually be part of your club for the future. So this tactically is about also growing participation in those clubs and building their community hub in a sustainable way. And once we do that, then we funnel all of the other stuff that we have at our fingertips. So this is designed to have fun, health, well-being outcomes, but what it's also designed to do is to promote to that region, come and be part of something cool. And then we can do things like the PR Tucker actually. So this year we sent 80 kids down to the Blues and a leadership program that basically these from as far as right up the top there in Hokinga. It's a long bus drive. It's all paid for with donations for it. They go down, they have they stay on the Marae, they turn up to the Blues, they learn about leadership. These are kids that learn about leadership, what it is to be a leader, what adverse things that the Blues players and their management team have come through to be a leader. And then they watch the game and then they go and sit in the change room afterwards. Then they come home. So if we can build these clubs through things like this, then we can take the kids down. So that's what it's about. The total budget for this is about $49,000. What we're asking for is $3,000. That allows us to pay for the transport because it's getting bigger than being here. So from the Russell Wharf to the Russell Sports Ground and return. What we don't want to happen is people not having the ability to come because of transport. The rest of the money, we're going and door knocking. Normally when we do things, we go in advanced and we can plan for it. This one's the last minute and we're door knocking and we've got about $30,000 off the rest so far. So we're well on our way and a lot more door knocking, but the $3,000 will help us pay for the transport. And that means all of the public can come. The last thing is that we're being hosted by the Russell Sports community, rugby club. So there's 7 players, elderly, I play for them, so we're playing for that. But what we're also doing in parallel is raising money for them for the sports equipment, which is what Rugby for Life does. You go, how can we help you? If they get equipment in their gym, that means they can get more membership and that can help them fund that environment. So we're very grateful and thankful to our Russell Sports Club friends. They don't have a rugby club, but it's not about rugby, it's about sport. So that's
Thanks, Ricky. There might be some questions. You might want to leave it there.
Yep.
Madam Chair, I need to declare that up. Parliament was
You're not playing, are you?
And
I think they're trying to get Mockers front up because the other mayors are turning up.
Oh,
yeah,
it'll be a target.
yeah, there's many targets to be had.
Yes. Jane? Yes.
So my understanding is that you're going to be using all the sports club parking so that people can't park at the sports ground. Is that correct?
So there's
So
two.
people want to come to the game, they've got to get the bus out of town
Yeah, so
to get to the game.
parking is limited. There is, so we're using the main car park at the sports ground for the buses. So that's part one. There is limited parking beside that, where there's a big green field there. So once that's full, it's full. So the buses are essential for bringing people there. Otherwise, they're parking on the road.
Sorry, so you're effectively advertising it, like jump on the ferry and then we'll get you to the game from there.
That's what happens today.
Yeah. In theory, that's what you're.
Yeah. So you can come multiple ways, but we'll be pushing jump on the ferry. Locals go to the just a muster point at the end of the wharf, and then we've got buses.
So you'll be coming to
I won't see.
So Ricky, just following on from that, back to affordability for families, Whangaroa and the wider Bay of Islands area in particular. Family of four, $48 standard fare on the ferry. Is what's happening with prices. I know because I look at it and I just think, it's all right once they get over there. They can get to the venue. But affordability on the days, have you got any great sponsorship going on with the ferry?
It's a good question, no, but
It could be
give me another few months and that'll be a different story. But we're just plugging as much as we can.
The time they park and pay here and get the ferry, that is a cost. It's more of a cost than getting a bus over to the venue. But
yeah, I guess it all layers on. So you just take one barrier at a time. If you give me $1 zillion, I can knock the cost off the ferry as well. But the reality is, it's one barrier at a time.
And you have additional ferries running?
Yeah. So there's all ferries are running, and now we've got a curtain raiser, so we can stage out the curtain raiser. Kaya under 11 versus Kiri under 11s are playing at 12, so we'll pull it forward so we can spread out the distribution as well.
And my second question was around the private donations for the project. 36,000 is a lot of money, still pending. And how are you getting on with that?
We've got 30.
You've got, great, excellent.
So, there's the cool thing about sport and kids and supporting clubs is it's not a hard ask. If you've got more time, it's a little bit easier. But yes, we're running pretty hard. So we've had some wonderful contributions. Actually, there's a lot of Tautokoroa people who are ex-players who have more value set aligned to clubs than, say, the provincial union or the All Blacks. And they remember where they played from. So Peter Cooper, for instance, out on our island, who's a friend, remember his time playing grassroots rugby with no boots. Those memories tend to help contributions.
You have a question? Are you working with Colour? Is Rugby for Life working with Colour?
So we haven't got any. So UK and Whangaroa. So Jeff Milner from Narahine, Narahine is a good supporter of theirs, and he's on our trust. So we work with him. We've worked out. We haven't got a coordinator there. We're okay with one, but at the moment, Jeff's going, it's okay. We give Narahine seems to be
thinking of your area, right? Sure that you're covered.
So Jeff, mind you, so things have changed a little bit too. So we've helped Otaria out too over this one.
I think that's really unlucky because we're all taking out the cup And Kaikoa, of course, they're pretty much in our area, high profile. We have a look at Aotearoa, it's actually community owned. And a lot of the time they get left out of like this, events like this. And even though they've in recent years, they've been the champions for Northern, they're still playing it.
Well, they can get a bus across and then park it in town and all.
Yeah, it's open to everyone. To be fair with Aotearoa, with MRMs, and it's just a network thing that we have with raffles and support all the time. And we, with the Duke of the winning team, their suits, so just trying to help where we can, but we've lost a little bit of touch since Cameron's left.
Wow, also a successful event.
Just to survive, it's one of the targets.
Russell's Rugby Club rooms for the day.
It's Duke. Yeah, it's not big enough, so we're locking that down. So we've got I won't bore you with, but now the Blues are bringing the Super Trophies up, so that's just another layer of take a photo and a hero thing. So and we've got Colin Mills, former bricklayer, Tim Southey, and there's a few of the Warriors teams coming up as well. So the parliamentarian team's just got Kevin Locke with what he's done. And yeah, so it's watch this space, be more and more faces on social media.
Sounds like a great event.
Thank you for your
Thanks for your time, Ricky. Thanks for coming to present to us this morning. We'll make that decision a bit later.
Thanks. Cheers, guys.
Cheerio. And finally, Tony, thank you for your patience. Tony Tanner, we have you representing Kawakoa Community Art Gallery in relation to funding application for establishing a Kawakoa Community Art Gallery on page 67.
Morena, everyone, and thank you for hearing my proposal today. Just because you don't know me, I'm just going to give you a little bit of rundown about me. So I'm Tony Tanner, and I've been an artist for many years, and I've been teaching rauanga, which I learned traditionally on a marae. I also teach other forms of art, and I'm a really good events manager, which I've been doing for many years. I've created many community events and exhibitions over the years. I like to work with people, artists, and support the young and old to create a vibrant artistic community. Embracing culture as a form of therapy for both young and old. I hope to create a space that embraces the arts and culture we have here. Kawakoa is the perfect venue to create this hub. Artists, like current artists, will be able to teach. People can meet and be introduced to new and interesting art forms. Culture, heritage and history, like the flax mills that we used to have in Kawakoa, are just one example. A nurturing space, a creative space, and a meeting space. After school art classes, holiday programs, weekend workshops, artist talks, poetry evenings, morning raranga classes for mothers, an exhibition space, a sales space, a shop, and also a creation of employment. Craft classes for the elderly, opportunity for artists to make money from their art, a special needs class, and exhibitions for local history, which we are also missing. Art therapy, well-being of learning, mental health, healing, things like weaving, which is calming, drawing, which is also calming and helps people notice more things, watercolour painting, which brings on a feeling of well-being, helping people and nurturing people to see more in life and nature. I've also looked into art access, which are held in seminars in Wellington and online, which I'm hoping to attend in August. The significance of a community art gallery in the Bay of Islands is going to be embracing art, culture and community, supporting artists of all of Northland, showcasing Northland and artists, creating a hub where people can grow, supporting community interests, supporting the heritage and culture, Maori art, significant events like Matarangi, also Ronga, Waitingi, Maori Language Week, as well as Christmas exhibitions, members exhibitions, soul artist exhibitions, new artists, supporting young artists and up and coming artists. Pretty much that's me. If there's any questions, I hope that's enough.
Thanks, Tony. Yeah, well, we've got the application and additional information in front of us, so I'm sure that's it enough. Questions?
It's not too complicated. So you've put a bit of a budget in your application.
Yes, that was a little bit, and I've got a more explicit one in here.
Yeah. So that shows that you're hoping to cover your costs.
Yeah, and I've
through
also
fees and exhibitions and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I've got membership, donations, exhibition fees, class fees, sponsorships, and grants and funds, which I have to get here, and sales and profits.
So what I'm hearing from that is that you're asking for us funding, which would be
a proportion of
seed
get up and get us up and going. And because currently there's like 8 empty shops in Whangaroa.
Yeah, but what I'm seeing from here is that you won't be back next year to ask for your rent again.
No. It's just it's kind of like
it says it's gonna.
Yeah.
It's cost.
Yeah.
Are you working with Creative Northland?
Yeah. So I've that's what I'm doing Creative Access at the moment. Creative Northland, I did just miss that funding round, unfortunately.
The organisation.
Yeah. So I'll be going in the next one. Yeah.
Does that help with the business skills?
Yes,
business planning
definitely. I'm on there for the business skill plan. Yeah.
Question for the chair. We had a discussion with the Whangaroa Business Association.
No, I haven't.
I think the reason why I'm asking is because when you implement new SAP resources, utilities, new businesses into our communities, one of the biggest issues we have in Whangaroa and Whangaroa is lack of car park spaces. And so if you have to bring something like that in there, you're actually going to congest our main streets.
Yeah, there's car parking right behind the shops in Whangaroa.
Yeah, and I can tell you that space is used for first, what do they call it, freedom campers. And that thing's overrun because when we have events over there at the Aotea, with the Whangaroa, I mean, that whole area is filled up and it spans right through the whole town, including the other one down the bottom of
radio station.
That's already full. Just about every car space is full. I know this because I'm a resident of 52 years there. And so I've grown up seeing the issues come through. It's a big concern. So much that everybody may have been getting hammered for more space, car park spacing. The other thing is that when we talk about histories, Robbie, that's what the Whangaroa is. If you walk through there, you see the history of the area. There was also talks of a place for an exhibition in that space too. So I'm wondering if you've had that conversation with the trust.
No, not yet. But I drive through Kawakawa every day and I get a car park there every day when I get a coffee. I go to the library every week and there's always car parks.
Yeah, but what you don't see is that when we have events, which is quite common, that place is full. I know that because I don't drive through there. I live in the area.
Yeah.
And I know that because I've been there my entire life. And so these are why I'm bringing these concerns, because these are things that you have to look at. And it's not to put down what you've done. I absolutely love the idea, but I have to look at the impact it's going to have on my community and the effect it's going to have on us who service those communities. Because ultimately, and honestly tell you, I'm nearly easy matchsticks to hold my eyes open dealing with roadie issues and all those type of things in the area. We have the art here where people have their art exhibitions and other displays of art is done in the library. We've had some pretty high level rāranga in there. Medina Coney, considered a master in that craft, and several others. And so basically, these areas, like the Whangaroa, they're sustained by these things. And when you go and create something new and put it over there, and you're thinking what they're already doing over there in order to generate the funds to keep them alive, you're going to have a big impact on the establishments. Meaning that you could end up dragging the people out of there and they suffer. And I'm not saying I'm against it, I just have some pretty big concerns.
So my thing is I want to support the community and support the artists, as well as up and coming, young kids and people who want to learn and need it as therapy, And so there's, a lot of those artists that you're talking about as well, they don't have a space to sell it. So that's the thing. I want to support that. Yeah.
I hear sorry. You've just got. I just want to get a bit of an understanding of how the organisation is going forward. You got sort of 40 members. Have you kind of got like a bit of an idea that you're already going to get?
Yeah, so I've already been in an art collective locally of several artists. So I've got all of those people behind me that would be interested in coming in.
Cool. So you've already kind of done a bit of that kind of networking.
Yeah.
And then so sales profits, is that selling paintings?
Yeah, so I did I made it pretty basic just to cover what could generally be done.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I've got no idea how to get very strict to be perfectly honest, but so what do you guys like?
Sell and take
your commission.
A commission.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on top of exhibit fee, so they pay for an exhibit fee and then.
Yeah, well, it depends what we were doing.
Okay.
Like if we're doing kids exhibitions, I don't think we'd do that, but
Yeah, sure.
So it definitely depends what we're actually doing it. So we tailor it. Yeah.
And so you've got like these are what conservative numbers you feel pretty.
Yeah, conservative.
Okay.
Sorry. I was just a little confused around the application stated that there was plenty of empty shops. They had an offer of empty shops.
There's 8 empty shops currently.
But nobody's offering them free of charge. So this is a 2-year lease you're looking to tie yourself.
Yeah, so I'm looking at a lease. Yeah.
So with that lease of that commercial premises, presumably would come some car parks under the district plan law?
So that's what I was talking about. There's a whole lot of car parks right out the back, which are just by the radio station, which are not always full.
So the premises you're looking at would have tagged car parks there.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So you've not been able to secure a place to set up here?
Yeah, so I have got a place and I've got a quote for the rent for that, and that's on the application. And that's what I was looking at. I mean, obviously there's 8 empty shops. If I don't get that one, there's another one. Yeah.
And all your supporters will converge at one time, or they come in as they?
So obviously there's lots of seasonal events as well, where we can bring in other people, other artists, and a core group of artists as well. Yeah. So we just keep it varying the whole time. Yeah.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Thanks for presenting, and we will be in touch with you later in the day. Thank you. Right, so that's the end of our speakers. So moving on to the end of that, we have item 6.1, confirmation of the previous minutes. I'll move that Bay Islands Whangaroa Community Board, including the minutes of the meeting held on June 20, 2024, are true and correct reported. Seconder? Any alterations?
Please make an amendment.
Were you seconding that? The seconder?
No. Want to make the alteration?
Seconder?
Yes,
Thanks, Bruce.
Yeah.
Any amendments?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, we are.
I'm recorded as being against the Calurpa funding application.
Yes, that's what I had down on my agenda.
And I actually was the one person that supported it. Well, the others.
So you're 7 point, just point which on that. Okay, page 13. I added that because that's what I had written down in my.
I was the one person.
So remove.
I was supporting our architect community.
My fault, Jane. For some reason I had JH against in my, I did not preview. Were you against what happened?
I voted in favour of it, so I was not against it.
Everybody else? Yeah, item 7.3C.
Yeah.
I also had you against that.
No, I supported it.
So click happy.
Click happy. Oh, click happy, no. Yeah, I mean,
You were against that, so perhaps I put it on the wrong one.
So just for you, Madam Chair, for the purpose of the amendment, as the motion was lost, are we to list all of the members that voted against the motion or just remove?
Just remove member Hindle.
Okay, as they against.
and again, I think all the members voted against it. I'm quite sure why I've singled out.
At the time of the, if you go back and look at the video.
No, but it's the same time.
Yeah, I definitely had you down as against.
Yeah, I think everybody was against it.
The motion was lost for click happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only
Do you want your name removed?
Well, I don't. Yeah, we were all against it, so we should all be against
But
it.
if I ask, would you like it recorded?
Yeah.
You clearly said yes at the time to me.
Yeah,
For me to write your name.
certainly wouldn't say it for the right to run.
You happy to leave it there?
Yeah.
Any other amendments? The recording's so good because I can go back and see.
But we were in committee.
Yeah, it was on the X as well. So.
Oh.
But you were against that.
So it's my mistake, clearly. Okay, so with those amendments, I move Bruce seconded. All those in support? Against? Carried. Item 7.1. Page 18. Trinity here. Welcome. Yep. At the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Community Board name a right-of-way Kowhai Grove that is currently addressed at 10 and 8 Airport Garden by Kirikiri. Do I have to leave it? Thanks, Bruce. Seconder. Tyler, thank you. Thank you, Trinity, for this thorough report. It seems to have everything in it that we require. I almost had to admit to being colourblind. Tim's obviously got sharper eyes than myself because I could not see where the new road was. The olive green to me is so close to the charcoal. I couldn't see the colour difference. So it could not, I could see the eyesight. It was challenging. That clearly shows where the new road is.
No worries. Very good.
Thank you very much. Other than that, it was a great report.
I appreciate it. I'll have more coming soon.
Any discussion on it? Any questions? Support? Against? Carried.
Jumping again.
All right,
So much easier now.
okay, item 7.2, project funding reports. Move that the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Community Board note the project reports received from A, Coast to Coast Cat Rescue, and B, Rainbow Rangatahi Youth Space. Do I have a second? Tyler? If you're looking for acknowledgement on the Cats to Cats, you will have to go to page 100 of the additional information to see our
Photos.
little logo.
I'm looking for it.
Yes,
I missed it too. Oh, yeah.
It's on the van in about 3 different places.
Yeah.
I was like, where is our logo?
I missed it too.
And on the Rainbow Rangatahi there, I've sent them lots of beautiful coloured pictures, which we probably could have saved on thinking those picture, but there were 7 pictures that actually showed our logo. But my question, I guess, is around, was our logo actually on any of the projects that we did? So you'll find in the additional information it shows numerous lovely coloured photos and our logo shown on the bottom of 7 of those. And just this online acknowledgement is all very well, but when we are actually putting substantial funds into projects, and particularly in our reserves and in public open spaces, it would be really nice to see some acknowledgement. And I don't have Lane here today, and I'm not able to comment whether our acknowledgement is actually in the Kitty domain. I know it's not on the park benches that were painted, and I wouldn't necessarily expect to see it there. But I think it's something we can discuss with our community grant funding as to how we are acknowledged within our communities. Just moving forward.
So the land logo is disappointing. It is very small.
The amount of money we put through it.
We bought the whole van actually.
Yeah, 10,000, I think.
Paid for the entire van. So I think we should go back and go and let them know that we weren't particularly impressed.
We can discuss it when we come to the next application, but I feel we need to look at how we are acknowledged. I think social media, at the campaign at the time, there's often a lot of acknowledgement, but it's not something that the general public see when they're necessarily, circulating in the community. Not everybody would follow on those websites, and not everybody would see it.
Well, you've said how those signs sort of really big. Just
great example of how I would like to be acknowledged. Yes.
I'm 7 green to do. And when I have a look, I've had events that the community board has contributed to. We bought out before. And can't even in Whangaroa, then I'd look for the banner, I can't find it. And for me, it's one thing to put it on the internet, but having it displayed at the event itself, it changes the dynamics hugely.
Or on the infrastructure, because we do contribute to some substantial infrastructure around our ward area.
Yeah, because I like that. And a lot of people ain't on social media.
No.
Especially those ones influential people legally and they're not even anywhere there. They say they had actually come and asked me if I provide help certain projects in the community, and they go, yeah. But these are people, key people in the community, being supporting our community and uplifting our community for the better part of 35 years. And if they don't know, then who else doesn't?
I agree, Roddy. I think it's, it would also act as and it's something we can cover, I'm sure Catherine's making notes there when we review this policy, in the sense that people, it would act as an information piece as well for people to say, oh, so the board funded that, perhaps they would fund something else, because we do struggle to get our name out there and what we do. So, it's something we'll discuss more.
Yeah, certainly I think as well, like, particularly with events, right, a lot of them have a sponsorship tier package or something like that, right? I mean, the board might sometimes give more money than probably what some of their sponsors do, but then receive less acknowledgement.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, we're big and bold moving forward. Move myself, seconded by Tyler. All those in support? Against? That's carried. Now we're down to funding applications on page 13. Would you like a coffee break before we put through those? Okay, yes, we're going to take a 10-minute break.
Nicola, can you please confirm that the live has paused? Sorry, Nicola, can you turn us down to pause our live stream? Sorry.
It's showing as yellow, but really.
Oh, they're on Harley's.
Are we going to? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nicola, could you please link that into live stream?
Welcome back, everybody. Moving on to our funding applications, item 7.3 on page 30. We will take these one by one, starting off with A, that the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Community Board approve the sum of $5,000 plus GST if applicable be paid from the board's community grant fund account to Coast Cat Rescue towards purchase and relocation of a porta cabin. Do I have a mover? It's Roddy to get on the table. I'll second that then. You can see they actually asked for $10,000 and the recommendation is 5.
Yeah. I've seen them active on our leaders boards. I've seen them active in our community. They bring to, as a place, not just our area, but multiple areas within the Bay of Islands, resolutions that haven't been provided in other I suppose organisations or agents. And so, as I said, it's our areas, we have a lot of different types of special fauna species, birds, you might have seen, and I think the organisation goes a long way in helping to protect those things. And I've seen their work. I've seen them always in Kaukai, the veterinarian. I've seen them always engaging in the community. And it doesn't take much to see that the community in itself acknowledge the contribution and support it. So that's the reason why I put my hand up.
Thanks, Bobby. Second, I'll speak to this. I'm going to speak against the application for a number of reasons related to most of the questions that I did ask this morning when the applicant was here. We don't have any Control Act for cats at council, and there is no law in New Zealand in relation to the cats. So this is going to be run as a cat rescue, which means it would have to comply with the Animal Welfare Act. This application, although the board has supported desexing of cats through Cravons and Rescue, and the vehicle we have purchased for assisting in the trapping or gathering or rehousing of cats, providing accommodation in the form of a cabin, I do not support this due to the fact that we don't actually have ways within council of monitoring and enforcing this particular activity. I'm not convinced that work has been done under the district plan rules to ensure under the Animal Welfare Act that this cabin will comply with the use, and I'm not sure whether the address given is a rural property, so it may well fit under the district plan rules, but there are codes under the Welfare Act for temporary accommodation in catteries, and I'm not sure how it sits with rescue cats and the number of cats that they're going to have. We do have council staff that are actually warranted under the Animal Welfare Act, which are different to those operating this situation who are not warranted. Council could, in time, introduce a rule if they should choose to do so. However, this would set public expectations, as does our dog bylaw, that any time a cat or kitten or anything will run up and ask, come and get this cat, come and get this kitten. We don't know whether they would be feral, whether they would be somebody's pets. I know my own daughter's pet disappears for 2 weeks at a time, one of them. The other one hardly ever leaves home. So there are quite a few regulatory and compliant things around actually the cabin going on the property, and the fact that there are no regulations around the activity. So with that in mind, there are other issues which I won't labour on, but with that in mind, and the fact that fees are being charged, all of these would come into consideration with a formal application to council. So I will be voting against this. Another comments? Questions? Clarification?
Thanks for those. I mean, I'm not a cat person, but do that. Race. Yeah, so, and again, I had to put up a feral cat food damage on the farm. See a lot of bird life gets slaughtered by it. Bush don't see the lizards and the other ones that they feed on. But I don't see any, I have personally seen what they do. When I saw the cabin, I can't stop it all. It's ventilated and like that. I think a dozen cats in there. I think I'm pushing very much. I sort of should have outside.
Yeah, that's where the design would come under the Welfare Act, is to have it.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's getting into, and feral, just to clarify it, wild and feral cats actually fall under Northern Regional Council, and they, I believe, have received funding from them in the past because they are classified as pests. So they're different again to the rehousing of cats and kittens that we do. So it's not to say that I'm not supportive of desexing, or therefore it's just the actual activity. Yeah.
Due to the nature of the potential risk that we put ourselves at by doing something that could not be.
That doesn't actually have any laws.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, I guess I'm going, they are already housing them in inappropriate housing. Is this going to improve the situation and give them better facility? So from what I read in the application, they're currently being kept in aviaries, that's right, which are not appropriate, or in it's also not appropriate. So are we improving the situation by supporting a better facility for them? Would be the question I would ask.
Sorry, Madam Chair, is there another option to leave it on the table to then get them to re-look at your application in order to look at what you've brought up and then maybe see if there's a way that they can come up with a more appropriate solution?
You could, however, because there are no control, there isn't a control act or a law, are we supporting something that we shouldn't be getting into under council's restriction and day-to-day business with ratepayer money?
I guess just to add to that, so if the board were to decline the funding, it wouldn't prevent them from bringing an alternative back in another application.
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
I suppose I just wanted to add to the conversation the areas that I see will be a challenge. I understand that the application is for a cabin, a portable cabin that's relocatable, which in my description is not attached to any infrastructure. My concern is if there's one, there may be a number that will follow, and the long term for the organisation, because I understand that this cabin will be located on a private property, and should the management of that change, how that would impact on whether we've got a responsibility of relocating the cabins again to somewhere else. There is no bylaw, I think, that I've found that addresses cats in particular. I know we've had a number of issues in the area of cats, stray cats and so forth. If there was an opportunity to allow this organisation to give us some further security around some information that if we're inviting them to come back, is they're imposing on the current bylaws that the council have put in place for these things.
There isn't one. Council could consider one, which will change the situation, but at this stage, there isn't one.
Through the chair, she has actually encouraged council to do that. And
there's no appetite. Yeah.
So those caps of number.
$5,000. Those who are in support of granting $5,000 to Coast to Coast Cat Rescue, raise your hand, please.
My hand because they recommend me.
Those against? So that is twice. You want it noted?
Right, just Madam Chair. Yes. Jane and Lottie voted in favour of the motion, so it would be the votes in opposition that we would record. So you're saying.
Okay, yes, yeah, sure.
Did you want the votes against the motion report?
Yes.
Yes, please.
So, current votes entirely.
Moving on to B, that the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Community Board approve the sum of $3,000 plus GST if applicable, be paid from the board's community fund account to our Kitty Community Trust towards 2024 Northern Chess Championships. Do I have a letter? Tyler, okay. Thanks, Jane. Seconder. Apologies for the late notification this morning, but the speaker was unable to come, and I did circulate an email, bearing in mind that it is on the threshold of our it's $3,000 of our funding. We're quite happy for this to be discussed and moved without the item being spoken to. So, any discussion around this?
I'm in favour of it. I think it's a great event. I think they did a good job of it was well run from what I understand last year. It attracted a lot of people from outside town as well as, gave local kids a chance to compete in a chess tournament, which is, I think, as vital as us supporting sports, for example, which we do plenty of. And I also believe that they did a good job of saying thanks and saying thanks to the community board for the funding as well last year. So I think it ticks boxes for me.
Jane?
I'm in favour of the events. I'm in favour of that it's great. I would like to recall my disappointment that they haven't yet got sponsors. It's the third time it's been run, and we do always provide seed funding on the understanding that they will move towards making it profitable. And I understand not profitable, but their costs, and I understand that they want to keep the fee at $10. I would just like to see next year that they put a little more energy into getting sponsorship, and that the contribution to the community board is maybe $100, because it is the third year, but I will still support it. Well, I was going to foreshadow an amendment to make it 2,500.
So, just a tad.
I do know that they go out to sponsors. I know that they, I know businesses that were approached and things like that. And I just think it is a particularly tough.
I think it's a great tournament.
Yeah.
I think it's just would like to get some sponsorship. It's not just us.
Good point. Any other discussions?
I think they've done pretty well since 2022. Looking at all of the documentation which is they sent back, you certainly see that there's been a lot of involvement by different communities. So that's always a plus for me. I mean, we're community board members, and when we have community events that actually inclusive of everyone, type of things we should be supporting.
maybe the diversity as well, rather than in the project report.
And the young players.
Yeah.
Okay, no further discussion around this. I'll put it to the vote, $4,000.
Free.
The next one. Today, right. $3,000 for our Kitty Kitty Community Trust towards 2024 Northern East Championships. Move Tyler, seconded Jane. All those in support? Against? Carried. On to C. The Community Board approved $4,000 from the Board's Community Fund to Tucker Thompson New Sailing Trust towards two Rangatei in the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Ward tender be lifted at We'll move. Do I have a seconder? Thanks, Bruce. Discussion around this?
Just great support.
Right.
Yes, I think Catherine did a bit of a job. And yes, I've had a granddaughter who was on one of these sailings, and I think at the time she's gone off the others bits, but no, she gained a heck of a lot from it. I was really impressed with all the feedback that had been there, and it's carried on ever since. So,
as it seems.
I think it's great. Great thing.
All right, seems to be support for this. I'll put it to the vote. All those in support? Against? Carried. Abstain. Jane? Okay, moving on to D. Then the board approved $3,000 from the board's community fund account to Rugby for Life towards the cost of Russell Community Day. Do I have a mover? Mover? Bruce? Oh, Jane, okay, for a second. Discussion? I think we're pretty well here at this point. We reconcile.
Yeah.
Anything that's for kids and sports is always fabulous. There will be a cost involved for families, in particular, wanting to take kids over there in the ferry. And we all know that traffic and parking is going to be a problem, that no matter what we do.
I've had queries from Waikari and some of the communities out there who are keen to. I do recommend that maybe somehow we can get a bus across, and we've got Whangaroa playing and Kipiki playing. It should be a lot of fun. We want to do it.
No, not yet.
I'm the same boat as the team. I mean, the costs to go on the ferry is going to be a huge. Doesn't mean I don't support it. I think it's like actually beautiful concept.
Car ferry is more economical.
Which is my concern, because larger families will go on car ferry because it's cheaper, and have the vehicle parking shoot.
Then they offer that.
Is the bus picking up from Okiato?
Could they?
No, Russell.
We should, because you could leave your car and there's no parking.
There's no parking here.
And then just message everybody.
You know, if we go from 5 years to nothing to parking car at the end, you go from this to the end. That's what you're saying. And it's actually cheap. It's cheaper to take your car across the rest of it.
Yeah, well, that's.
Go home with but you're with a family. And say,
Do you think clubs will do?
Yeah.
It's up to the clubs to organise, isn't it?
Yeah, so
It's just kind of the timelines are very short. So
they have like 3 weeks notice.
Yeah.
To pull something together.
Yeah.
That's time frame they've done really big work.
From what I hear, they're trying to get them to come back to the north again. Back getting that.
Was it the same day as the? See, I think that too is something that we probably should have pointed out to Ricky, but I'm sure he's aware that when you're dealing with off-season fashion events in the Bay, you're instantly, the people going to the Fair Festival, they have taken their kids to the rugby. So it's, I think it's a lot of local support, doesn't it, for the Brew Festival?
I think the rugby demographic is really doing rugby on that day.
Season's over.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. I know.
Okay, moving on, $3,000 bracket for life, all those in support. Yes, that's carried. On to E, that the board approves sum of $5,000 be paid from the board's community fund towards account to Tony Tanner towards establishing a Kawakawa Community Art Gallery. Do I have a mover?
Yeah.
Lottie? Second? Thank you. Discussion?
I'm actually against this scope up is mainly because key people inside our community haven't had the chance to be a part of that discussion and the implications that are going to have on other infrastructure that are already inside our community. Not to mention, I know she said she drives through Kawakawa, but I'm visiting that space every day. And so I think I pretty much know its capacities and what it can take. And ever to miss that you're committed to paying someone's lease. We really, as board members, do we really want to commit ratepayers' money into paying for, I suppose, a private business's expenses? Ultimately, that's what she's asking us to do, is to commit to paying her private expenses for her private business. I think it's something that I can wholeheartedly support. And so there's other things that she needs to do, and one of them is to go back and talk to those who are in the know about Kawakawa, and that is the Kawakawa Business Association. And as she has mentioned, Laurel has run exhibitions in the area for a long time. So has the Hunter Muscle Trust out of Te Whangaroa. And so a lot of the things that she's spoken to are actually already in there. They're not in one space, but they're in multiple spaces. And the reason for that is pretty much the community decided they wanted to share the wealth. In other words, create something within the community that allowed them all to benefit. What I see this thing doing ultimately is taking away that and putting in one space, and one will I suppose, thrive at the cost of other establishments that have been in my community for a very long time. And like I said, I can't willingly support that.
Probably go along with what he was saying. To my ear, well, same sort of thing, so to speak, what he'd say, but not from Kawakawa, so I seem to do right. Thank you. So, yeah.
I was initially in support of this, but then I hear what he's saying, and I guess, yeah, it would be interesting to know what she spoke to the association and what sort of facilities are already provided. Is this just going to compete against something that's already in place in a small town? So it's just maybe struggling to kind of back up my initial thoughts, I suppose.
Chair, my concern when I read the application was the fact that we are effectively being asked to fund a private entity to set up an organisation. So when Roddy said what he said, I'm less concerned about parking, and I'm less concerned about the collective. I do share the concerns that she doesn't appear to have got key people from Kawakawa as the Kaikaiko who brought her application, because that would strengthen it. So this is just for me, it's about somebody pursuing what hopes to be a commercial enterprise, and good on her. But I don't think it's for the boards to fund.
Yep.
I don't think that happens.
It's true. You know, I share all your sentiments. I think this is a great initiative from Tony to establish a collective, and particularly with a learning, educational, artistic aspect to it. I would like to see more of a collaborative. I mean, it's a small town. You know, there's a couple of trusts that have been established for quite some time. By approaching the business association, as you suggested, that would have actually informed and exposed important contacts like Morel to Tony. They may know each other or they may not. So I think I'd like to encourage this initiative and the learning process of it. I feel that to tie yourself into a 2-year lease for something that doesn't actually have a business plan that we don't know whether it's going to succeed is perhaps not a good spend of our community grant. So those in support, raise your hands. Against? So that is lost. And finally, if that's available as Whangaroa.
Chair, that one's been withdrawn. Mr Harris's one has been withdrawn.
Sorry?
It has been withdrawn. You should have been advised, sorry.
That's good to know. Clearly successful elsewhere, which is good to hear. Okay. So that ends our funding. So we move on to item 7.4 of page 81. And on the Whangaroa Community Board, note the reports from members of Linda Ward and Linda Jane Handel. Do I have any of that?
Yes.
Thank you, Bruce. Seconded Tyler. Take that as read. These RFSs can, thank you, we're slowly working through some or part of them, that's why they're still there. The first one, the solid waste one, that has actually got a report coming to the board to close that site. The proposal is to close that site at a collection point.
Are we talking Montrose Road?
Yes.
The
solid waste manager. Well, there's no report.
Not at this stage. No, don't move.
Oh, okay. So that was my request.
An option is to close the site, but we are going out for consultation.
Consider closure.
Yeah. But it won't be soon, like next month.
So we're going to go out to consultation on that?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's since had another one or two investors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. No, we will do some letter drops so that they can submit their wants and wishes, and then we will decide if a report is needed to close that site. But yeah, that decision has not been made.
Right, well, we can go let's come with that. In that vein, yeah. Okay, so the second one, that needs signage. Perhaps we should get staff members to go ahead and put signage on that. We have been arranging for one of our members to do it. The sooner we get signage up on that other site, which is the Lador Road.
Once member Air is back, we will have a meeting. Thanks for this.
Okay.
And Amos.
And further down, I've got 16th February 1 and 2. I can inform you that 2 can come off the account. Those warrants I noted were in place for them there last. With these, one thing I did want to raise, and I'll raise it now in public forum if we can, is we have a number of RFSs that are roading and drainage related. Can we actually have a separate form or category or parking lot for them? Because I don't feel that they sit with community board, although they are RFSs, but they need to be. They seem to be long-winded and slow to be resolved and end up in LTP and annual plan processes. So do we want to have them, the list growing, have them sitting here? And they could be perhaps a board list of all our road and drainage issues.
Through the chair, let me put thought into that.
It's just I feel that I'm adding unnecessarily to the members' report.
Madam Chair, I think someone's just concerned they'll disappear down the black hole never to
Yeah, that's why I'm suggesting perhaps we have a board, for business, because we've all got road and drainage issues. Don't necessarily sit in our delegations, but we seem to sit in some time. But
minutes speak the pavement of the Senate.
Yes.
Very sweet.
Okay, so if there's no questions in the report, we'll move on to Jane. Just my query, Jane, was there's two things really. On your first, under the community other issues, the slash and destroy vegetation and looking board that destroys your native trees and panga.
I'm quoting.
My question around that really is, were they overhanging public space?
I only saw the debris.
Road?
I only saw the debris. I went and drove up the road and saw the piles of. And I did see the half panga, which was quite distressed. Literally half.
It's kind of a bit sad that a contractor would do that.
Yep. So I talked to our community hall coordinator because the individual was shouting at me and said he never wanted to see them in the street again. We discussed that would simply cause problems in the future when another resident was there, they should trim it. So
my query really around it is boundaries. If the panga is actually not on, it's on
a road. It's on a road reserve.
Yeah, then many rights over the trees. But this could be just encroachment that the garden's been there a long time.
There's quite a way off the road. They must have gone off the road quite a bit. They did make quite a mess, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
trees will grow back.
And the other thing is, have you had any contact in relation to the Russell toilets increased maintenance contract over the summer season?
Through the chair, no, as the district facilities are undertaking this survey with City Care. They will be back next month, and so they will also be coming to hopefully your next meeting with a workshop with City Care.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Jane? So Bruce moved that report, seconded, all those in support? Carried.
And through the chair, you will also note that next month you will have a couple of reports from Tyler, as he has been having fantastic time management and sending them through, and I've missed off 2 of his now. So apologies to Tyler for that.
I've been doing them.
No.
So thanks for that, Kim. We'll see those next month. So moving on, we have item 8.1. I'll move that the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Community Board receive the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Community Board July Open Resolution report. Tyler. A smelly face on something here. What is that? Oh, Simpson Park, getting public consultations with the park concluded. End of June, 118 online submissions. I believe it's about 100. Brilliant. Brilliant. And for a school, that's awesome. So they are being analysed at the moment. Any further feedback?
They've kind of got a draft sitting there. It's I haven't been experienced in part of this group, but I think believe that it was like 1980. Something been reading in the last one was that. I think so. Actually, our youth hate this was huge. And if you ask me, that's the whole reason why we had so much people come forward. It's because it's the first time that we've actually seen within the subdivision that there was kaupapa, as it was headed by rangatahi for rangatahi. And they certainly done a good job, but Robin myself, really acknowledged that input, Pam, that Ellen and contributed. And I suppose it's easy to say that they brought expertise that none of us had. And it's through that it actually brought a whole lot of the different stakeholders, other different members of our community that would otherwise have remained quiet out into the fore. So we're quite impressed with the amount of things that everyone was asking for. They go, oh, we're going to get this now, and it's a wish list, but I ain't Virginia that's going to make it all happen. And so it was good just to see the people motivated and dreaming, and not just sitting there and then hoping, but actually being open with their voice and using it. Because I think that came out of it for the first time in a very, very long time. Community spoke, and not as individuals, but in a collective capacity.
Lovely. You've done so well.
Yeah, and I mean, as you say, if you can dream it, you can do it. And we might not get everything on the list, but if they get someone who has a dream job, it's
then they can keep going.
Yeah.
They can go, well, we need another go. We'll get one of these.
So great work, great community spirit there, and just have to keep that momentum moving forward.
I think that's the reason why some of the things that are meant to come to the board, I've headed off, and I'm starting the community to get a further out, Russell's straw hat, and saying to the community, we don't have to be reliant on everyone else. We can do things that actually empower and motivate ourselves. So to try and remove some of that dependency, it's the victim, I suppose, the victimization of a community by activity. And ultimately, that's what I've seen for a long time. Poor me, I sit here and then put my hand up. What we're learning as a community, as opposed to subdivision, is that we have things that can contribute to the system. That's on our journey. When I seen the Anzac kaupapa, whereas they look at it coming to the board now, I waited, I actually begged RSC to allow the community to support the project. And then basically it's because for many of us in our community, we all come from returned servicemen or women. My community of 2 Mandamaku, we had 16 of its original household because we're actually out of New Zealand Defence Force. We came there from 1948 until 1967. And so it was time for us to shine. And I couldn't think of a better project to begin the process of the community taking back a part of its independence. The Anzac one, because that's where life for us began.
Okay. Love that this open resolution sheet has got very little on it, because that's the whole idea. Means we're doing things well. Okay, so I'll put item 8.1, move myself, seconded by Tyler. All those in support? It's carried. That closes our meeting for the day. And would you like to close that, Scotty, with the
Ni te matu te tama te wairu e kapu me ngāne ra pono me te mānga e tautu. Te mānga me te kawarama me te wānga me te wānga o te kaimi hera me ngā tangata te tū. Ni te matu ngāne te hui o te rā, te matu o te tama, te wairu e tapu me ngāne ra pono me te mānga e tautu ko ai.
Thank you to those who have joined us online today. Just in relation to our future funding applications,
Catherine, we are now going bi-monthly, is that correct? Yes, from this month. So next month, we're going to be focusing on funding applications. So for those of you that have events, you need to plan and become more forward thinking. We are in July.
So the dates are on the website and have been for at least 2 months now.
Yep. So it's all of it. So we'll get that out into our communities. So September will be our next round of funding applications. So enjoy the sunshine and thank you for joining us today.
Could you please end the live stream?